إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد وأيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. Ayub alayhi salam made a specific and special dua to Allah Subhanah wa ta'ala after years of trials, after years of calamities. He lost his children, he lost his wife, he lost his wealth, he lost everything, his health, all forms of or all means of happiness in this world, he lost them. And that lasted years. And when people tell him, reported to make dua or to ask Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes someone does a favor to you, too many favors to you, and then he does something that you didn't like or something that is hard on you, you feel shy to come and sort of complain about it. That is if you are a human being, a natural human being, because we deny everything. We deny, when we differ with one another, we don't remember favors, we don't remember families, we don't remember anything. We're talking about normal, specific, adherent people. You would feel embarrassed and shy to complain, remembering all the good things that that person does to you. Now we know we don't compare Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala with that, and we know Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala is different than us. In fact, He wants us to make dua, and if you don't make dua, He gets angry at you. Prophet Ayub alayhi salam, years of happiness he had, and then few years of bad things. And we know that as believers, we believe that good and bad from Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has the reason, He has the wisdom, and He does that for many reasons we will find out inshallah. So Ayub alayhi salam made a dua in two different places in the Quran. One time he said, رَبِّ إِنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الشَّيْطَانُ بِنُصْبٍ وَعَذَابٍ. He said, Oh Allah, shaitan inflicted me with sickness and bad things. Is it really the shaitan who did it? No, it's Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, but why did he say that? Adab ma'Allah, manners. You don't, if a policeman pulls you over, what would you tell him if you want him to forgive you with a ticket? Would you tell him, oh, you guys do nothing except sit on the side of the road and take the money from the people? You don't care about their feelings, you don't care about their jobs, you don't care. Definitely you're not going to say that. You're going to tell him, oh, please forgive me, oh, you are nice guys and you protect the community and I understand that you're doing your job and something good. So Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala is more deserving of that. So He attributed evil to the shaitan. In that ayah. Here, Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ. He called upon Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala قال وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ وَادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Your Lord said, call upon me and I will answer you. So He is doing it. أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ. Now when you say نَادَى رَبَّهُ, what do we call that? What Tawheed? Tawheed Rububiyyah, Tawheed Uluhiyyah, Tawheed Asma wa Sifat? Rububiyyah. Are you sure?
دعاء.
Both.
Yeah.
دعاء ألوهية.
نعم.
When you make dua, this is ibadah. You are initiating the ibadah, it has to go to Allah Subhanah wa ta'ala. But he didn't say, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى Allah. He said Rabbah. Because when you say Rabb, you're confessing to the goodness of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is Al-Razzaq, He is Al-Khaliq, He is Al-Muhyi, He is Al-Mumit. كل هذه الأسماء لله سبحانه وتعالى بأنه هو الرب. فكانت أقرب للدعاء أن تقول ربي وليس يا الله. يعني فيها مدح لله سبحانه وتعالى أكثر. فحقق توحيد ألوهية وجمع معه توحيد ربوبية. والدعاء كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هو العبادة. حديث مخ العبادة ضعيف. دعاء هو العبادة. دعاء is worship by itself. والدعاء مثلا عندما تقوم في التوسل. التوسل من آكد العبادات القولية. Yeah, we have two kinds of عبادات. عبادات we initiate by talking, and عبادات we initiate by action. The most confirmed عبادات قولية is دعاء. And the most عبادات فعلية action is slaughter and توسل. توسل يعني you make توسل to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. توسل is like taking a mean and then you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of that. We'll get to that inshallah. So نادى ربه, he called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So number one in this dua has four components. Tawheed, فقر إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى, إقرار بصفة الرحمة, وكذلك توسل بأسماء الله سبحانه وتعالى. So this dua that we read in the ayah, رب إني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. It has tawheed, it has confession of your poorness, and it has confession of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And another one is that you are initiating tawassul in the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. To Allah belongs the beautiful names, call upon Him with that. Let's take a look at each and every one of them. We said on Tawheed, you initiated the dua and you said Allah, Rabbi instead of Allah, and you combine between the two kinds of dua. العلماء يقولون أصل التوحيد إيش؟ الفقر إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى، الاعتراف بالفقر. واللي معترف بالفقر بيسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى. فسؤال الله سبحانه وتعالى هو أصل التوحيد. يعني عندما تسأل، عندما تطلب، عندما تحتاج تسأل الله. يا غلام احفظ الله يحفظك. شو كمان؟ إذا سألت فاسأل الله، وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. So أصل التوحيد أن تسأل الله، وأصل الشرك أن تسأل غير الله. The essence of Tawheed is to call, to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The essence of shirk is to call someone different than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you raise your hand and you ask, this is immediate confession you're poor. To the one you're asking. If I come and I say, brother, can I borrow $10? Am I in a better situation than him? No. Even if I'm rich, I'm not in a better situation because I'm asking him for something I don't have. So he is in that particular situation better than me, or stronger than me, or has more than me. So once you say, Ya Allah, you are telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أنا فقير وأنت غني. وأنا أسألك أنت يا الله لأني أعلم أنك قادر وأنك غني وأنك أنت الله. إذا هذا confession، والله سبحانه وتعالى يحب ذلك. الله سبحانه وتعالى قال في سورة فاطر يا أيها الناس، لم يقل يا أيها الذين آمنوا، بل يا أيها الناس أنتم الفقراء إلى الله طب هو كفاية إنه يقول أنتم الفقراء إلى الله، مفهومي الله أغنى لأنك أنت فقير له معناها محتاج له معناها هو أفضل منك، لكن تأكيدا قال والله هو الغني الحميد. ومش بس هيك، إن يشأ يذهبكم ويأتي بخلق جديد، يعني كلكم ما لكم قيمة من ناحية الحاجة، لا يحتاج الله سبحانه وتعالى إليك من أي شيء. لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أتقى قلب رجل منكم واحد ما زاد ذلك في ملك الله بشيء، أو ما نفع الله سبحانه وتعالى ذلك بشيء. You can, the entire universe worshipping, qiyam, tarawih, salah, iftar, zakah, everything you name it, it will not increase anything in the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if everyone was the opposite, it will not harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if everyone, picture this and focus on that when it comes to dua, if everyone asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم سألوا الله سبحانه وتعالى وأعطى كل واحد منهم مسألة ما نقص ذلك من ملك الله من شيء إلا كما ينقص المخيط إذا أدخل البحر أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Can you picture that? يعني how many, the tip of the needle when you dip it in the sea and you take it out, how much hanging water on it? Actually it doesn't even do that, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to show you at least there is some decrease. So, even though there isn't, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you something we call in mathematics negligible. يعني ما له قيمة، ما بتحسبه، زي ما بتيجي مثلا بتكون 0.00000000001، شو بدك تحسب فيها هاي؟ Nothing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave that. طيب, he asked, he confessed he is faqir. Some of the scholars, one of the wise people said that ususul faqri sitta. And if you want to look at yourself why you're poor, one of those six maybe you're doing. Maybe a little bit off the point that I'm trying to make, but I will say it to you. He says من أراد النجاح في هذا العالم عليه أن يتغلب على أسس الفقر الستة. And now, number one, sleeping. Especially what kind of sleep, يا شيخ نسيت اسمك Muhammad. Which sleeping?
Too much.
The one that makes you not pray. The sleeping that makes you neglect a prayer, like you're too sleepy for Fajr to wake up because it's your day off, or because you're tired, or because you went to sleep too late, and that is the word. So sleeping too much, that's the reason why you're poor. And the second one, التراخي. التراخي, يعني this is like saying tomorrow I'll do it, inshallah. Give me a few minutes, give me an hour. It always, you just want to delay things. That's another reason why you're poor. Another one, khawf, fear. It's like, oh my God, if I apply and they can ask me for a question, it's embarrassing if I don't know, I graduated a few years back, and you just invent scenarios of fear. One person, it's funny, yesterday I played ping pong with a person in a tournament. I beat him the first game and he beat me the second one. And the second one is, honestly, I felt like I never played before. It was horrible. It's not just two games, but it's two sets. So I was talking to him and thanking him and everything, and he told me, Sheikh, I met this Sheikh and he is, appears to be righteous and such, and I had an appointment to apply for a job. And I was worried. I have 5 years, 6 years experience, and they are requiring minimum 15. And I applied anyway, and they want to meet me. So I was scared. So I spoke with that Sheikh, and he told me, to make this dua. Oh Allah, make me a lion between cats. Whatever that dua is. So he said, Wallahi, I made it. He said, Wallahi, I felt like a lion there. I was like so courageous. They asked and I was confident and active. And I said, brother, Wallahi, I felt like a cat with you when you were playing that. That's the reason he gave that example, because I was talking about winning and losing. He gave me that example. He was just shy to tell me I made the dua with you, because I told him, what dua did you make? So I guess he made the same dua. It worked for him, but this is not for everyone to try. Sometimes when you make dua that is not authentic, it may work for you, but that doesn't mean it works for everyone else. And Ibn Qayyim, rahimahullah, he said he was sick in Mecca, and he drank Zamzam water for 30 days, and he was cured completely from sickness that was like permanent. And in some reports, I think he or someone else read Al-Fatiha 7 times. So these are not divine from Allah Subhanah wa Ta'ala, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But if someone did it, you may try it, as long as you don't attribute it to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It may work, it may not. Because someone asked me about, Sheikh, why everybody when you lose something, they read Surah Al-Duha? Do you know, Sheikh?
Grew up knowing it, so...
I know someone,
I mean,
personally, whenever they lose something, they read Surah Al-Duha, they find it. It didn't work for me. I mean,
it worked for
if
me.
I lose it, I lost it.
It worked for me, so...
But he asked me, what's in there? I said, maybe the saying of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Yani he's talking to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala did not abandon you or said goodbye to you. You're still there. And I said, your stuff is still there, did not leave you yet, so you go and find it. Allahu A'lam. So, التراخي, الخوف, we said sleeping, keep postponing, and fear, غضب, anger. Anger, that is a cause of poverty. Yani sometimes you're a salesman. You try to sell someone something, a Muslim, and he keeps wanting to drop the price and drop the price and drop the price, and then you get angry. What happens? You lost the sale, even though you had some good benefit in there, but you got angry and you lost the sale. I said that just to show you what anger does. Kasal, laziness. And by the way, kasal is a disease. And kasal is like shaitan. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when the shaitan does something to you, what do? You seek refuge in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Will you seek refuge in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? Same thing with the kasal. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal kasal. Kasal is also, you get used to it. Yani if you quit work for a day or two, it's like you don't know what to do. You feel like, I feel weird, I gotta go to work and I'm sitting here horrible. Give it time, then after that it becomes so normal. What's wrong with that, I'm not the only one. And you start looking for other people, just like the youngsters. Every time you tell him you're doing something wrong, he will tell you a son of someone else who's doing wrong too. And I said, why don't you give me an example of someone good? And that's the same way that people who use qada and qadar. Whenever they do bad or something the way they want, they say qadar Allah ma sha'a fa'al. It's like, why don't you come to the masjid, brother? Qadar Allah ma sha'a fa'al. Okay, come to the masjid and say qadar Allah ma sha'a fa'al. Wake up to Fajr and say qadar Allah ma sha'a fa'al. So a lot of people use it differently. And finally, mumatala. Mumatala, you just keep arguing and you keep changing your mind and keep, you don't have a real purpose. It's like a person asking you a question, not for the purpose of knowing the answer or learning, he just wants to argue with you. And some people do that. So avoid all these 6, inshallah. Maybe you'll become rich. The third one, we said in this dua, Tawheed, and we said faqr. The third one, إقرار بصفة الرحمة لله سبحانه وتعالى. Look what he said. وأنت أرحم الراحمين. Oh Allah, you are the most merciful. This is also not only confession of the rahmah of Allah, but also praising Allah Subhanah wa ta'ala. So when you raise your hand and you say, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, always when you make dua, you use the name Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it is the essence of all names of Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. أصل الأسماء كلها الله سبحانه وتعالى. لذلك أواخر سورة الحشر ما تقول هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس. So you say Allah and then you add to it. This is good. So he said وأنت أرحم الراحمين أي أنت يا الله أرحم الراحمين. فاعتراف برحمة الله والرحمة اللي قال عنها الله سبحانه وتعالى ورحمتي وسعت كل شيء. This is a third one. The fourth one, tawassul. Tawassul is, it's like dua, but dua using something good you did, that you see it big in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, deserving, or yani it's like, just to get it closer to our understanding, you did a big favor for me. And then you come with a broken heart, not bragging heart. You say, Sheikh Hassan, remember when you had such and such and all that, and wallahi, Sheikh, I'm in the same situation now that you were before. Actually, there's a story of that. Probably know a big hadith from the time of the Israelite, that authentic, that a person had leprosy and another person was poor and all that, and Allah subhanahu, they were angels, but they came in this form to teach us something. Brother, you look at me like you never heard of it, so never mind, we'll talk about it some other time, but I just want to confirm that. So you come and you say that, you soften my heart when you say that for a human being. To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not like that, but it's like, it's big in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to do that. So you come and you make tawassul. Do you have something that you've done, you feel confident, if you need something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you say, oh Allah, by the virtue of such and such, help me or cure me. You have to have something like that. If you don't have something, I don't know what you're doing in this life. You have to try to do something that people didn't do or did not remember do. Like, I'll give you an example. Did you ever go to Six Flags or something similar to that? You go in one of those things that maybe shows you around for a minute or two, pray 2 rak'ah on top of that. You think anybody did it? I did. See,
How?
not that.
Why is it moving?
No, if you go to Australia, it's a little bit different. Actually, it's not just me, a lot of other people. We were just sitting in it and it go around or something, and just slowly go in and go and hide and everything. Big room that you can walk around and everything. And I said, hey guys, let's do something never did before, and we all prayed. So, some things, you go to caves, you go to underwater, maybe you do anything that, you don't think. See, what's the point? The point is you want to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a place that nobody remembered Him. That's the whole point. Why do you think Salah between Maghrib and Isha is very virtuous? Any time that people heedless, and you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your worship is high and big and huge in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what made Qiyam al-Layl special. Everybody is asleep and you are awake for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody loves to sleep. Everybody don't feel like waking up and doing anything, especially making wudu and washing and all of that. And you're doing it. So Tawassul. He made tawassul in Allah, to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in His names and attributes, not in person words. Of course, when you do tawassul to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, you do with your actions, not with someone else's action. Oh, Allah, just because my dad is a sheikh, do no. That has nothing to do. Ya Fatima, salini ma shi'ti la ughni anki min Allahi shay'a. Oh Fatima, ask me whatever you want from this dunya. I don't benefit you from the hereafter. You got to work for it. وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. So you earn it. So make sure you have something for tawassul for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Here Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, he said something about this ayah, اللي هي وأيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. يقول ابن القيم رحمه الله: وقد جرب أنه من قالها 7 مرات ولا سيما مع هذه المعرفة، يعني اللي شرحته أنا إنك فهمان كل هذا، كشف الله سبحانه وتعالى ضره. He said it has been tried that anyone who uses that ayah, you read it 7 times, understand it in the way I explained it, then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala would relieve you. Again, this is not divine. He said some people tried it, it worked. Why don't you try it? Brother, you look like you don't have any problems. MashaAllah. We all have problems.
So which surah is it?
Nah, inshallah. Inshallah. But when you are with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Now look at the end. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ فَكَشَفْنَا مَا بِهِ مِنْ ضُرٍّ وَآتَيْنَاهُ أَهْلَهُ وَمِثْلَهُمْ مَعَهُمْ رحمة من عندنا وذكرى للعابدين. فخذوا كلمة ذكرى للعابدين، يعني هذا الدعاء ذكرى للعابدين، إنه من وحد الله سبحانه وتعالى ودعا الله سبحانه وتعالى مفتقرا إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى مقرا برحمة الله سبحانه وتعالى متوسلا إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى بأسمائه وصفاته، أعطاه الله سبحانه وتعالى ما سأل. If you fulfill the Tawheed and the need that you are in need for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you confess and you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful, and you ask Him with His names, you will get that. And Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, لِيَتَذَكَّرُوا بِأَنَّ الْبَلَاء لَيْسَ عُقُوبَ دَائِمًا. Trials is not a punishment always. قد يكون امتحانا لإيمانهم وصبرهم, testing you for your faith and your patience. You say, I'm patient. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, let's see how patient you are. And you say, I love Allah subhanahu. Let's see how much you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you love, then you need to show it action. إظهارا للآخرين بأن المؤمن لا يسقط أمام البلاء. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using you as a proof to other weak people that believers are tested with hardship and they stand it. They live it. The example of the believer is like what? Palm tree. Palm tree. What's the quality of a palm tree, Sheikh? In front of a tornado, what happens? Everything gets destroyed maybe, but not the roots. Very seldom or impossible to uproot it. But the leaves and the branches may destroy. So the believer may lose everything, but his Tawheed, his belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not go away. Yani he may give up in certain things, he may deviate a little bit here and there, but his iman and his tawheed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why tawheed is number one before akhlaq, before anything. Akhlaq disappears with the first slap you get in punishment. Look at Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. How the test that he was, and it was final decision. He has to say that the Quran is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or no, it's not a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He actually spoke it, he actually said it. and the whole universe at that time, and the Khalifa and everyone waiting for his answer. And he knows he could say it is created and save his life. But he did not. You know why? Because he will mislead the entire ummah. Everybody is waiting for his word. And he stood firm. And you know what they call him now? Imam Ahl Sunnah. Is the example. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gave him strength in him, gave example for the weak, because a lot of them, they said it, just to save themselves. But here, so Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tests you to show other people that strong believers, when they believe in something, they don't give it up. Then finally, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will not leave you like that. Eventually, He will show you His mercy. After you succeed, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala قال إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا. Look how comforting that is when Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tells you, you believe and you do good, we're not going to put your work in vain. This is like when Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala changed the Qibla. After 16 or 17 months of worshipping Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala facing Jerusalem, then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala changes to Mecca. Hypocrites and the people of the book, they said, oh, look, what a waste of time. They have been worshiping the wrong direction for 17 months. What a waste of prayers. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala answered and said, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُضِيعَ إِيمَانَكُمْ. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will not waste your salah. Iman here means salah. Why? إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِالنَّاسِ لَرَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is merciful, and that is the same rahmah that He has here. So this is the dua. What's the dua, Shaykh?
ربي إنه مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين.
أحسنت. ربي إني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين. Try it 7 times. And
which surah is it, Sheikh? What number?
which surah? Surah Al-Anbiya.
What number?
What do I look like? Bukhari?
That Muslim.
Zakir Naik?
You look like Muslim.
يعني the third from the last, top of the page. We can get that far with that.
So Sheikh, how come this dua is not used as much as like La ilaha illa anta subhanaka kuntu min al-zalimin? Sayyidina Yunus.
Yes.
This is like the most common.
That was an authentic one, yes.
But as far as ربي إنه مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين,
هذا مرض.
we don't. It's not common between people to use
صح
that, right?
صح. ما هو يعني there are so many dua that you can use.
As far as dua ayah in the Quran in the same
صح.
surah.
يعني there are many ayat for the dua. Well, dua, it's obvious when you say Rabbi, Ya Allah, Ya Rabb, all of that is included. And actually, يعني when you say Ya, this is a mean to use to make the dua. When you don't say Ya, it gives you the feeling you are even closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.
But each one, it has a different thing.
يعني,
Yes, I know.
يعني this is like saying Allahumma. It's actually Ya Allah. You say Allahumma, this is gets you closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So you as a believer should diversify with dua. يعني I make لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. This is a dua for the karb, يعني would relieve you. I make this, I make others, and don't do it 7 and say, okay, let's see what happens. Doesn't work this way. Be certain when you make dua. That's aham shay. Be certain that the dua Allah promised you, if you initiate, and of course, you fulfill the reason. Don't be involved in riba, or you don't pray, and then you making dua. That doesn't work. Or you committing dhulm, or you disconnecting with your rahim or something like that, and then you make dua. These all blockers. If you have any blood pressure, you know there are beta blockers, tablets that they give you. These are blockers for the dua. It would just disconnect you with Allah Subhanah wa Ta'ala. So we ask Allah Subhanah wa Ta'ala that He cures you and that He removes any harm from you. And may Allah Subhanah wa Ta'ala have mercy of us and guide us and continue to increase us with faith, increase us with knowledge, and beautify our life with His remembrance. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الشيخ حبيب الدرملي أبو الرام. الشيخ الدرملي watching you. هيا يا شيخ، هيا أبو الرام لك تشوفه شوفه. وياك أبو الرام.
ايوه على التليفون ابو رامي اتفرج عليه.
والله ما بعرف إذا شافك ولا ما شافك. السلام عليكم.